Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday evening, June 18, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more weather lovers or rain lovers just like you guys, so that we can build this weather community in time for the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October, so that we can keep everyone safe. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any other related questions that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at this post that was recently done on our Twitter, even on our Instagram and TikTok page, highlighting the fact that we just had an earthquake somewhere across Jamaica. According to the latest from the EMSC, that's the European Mediterranean Seismological Center, they haven't posted anything as yet. According to the USGS, that's the United States Geological Survey, they haven't posted anything as yet, and that's normal. They don't usually post anything about Jamaica if it isn't a moderate or a strong or major earthquake. They usually don't detect these light or minor earthquakes at all unless we actually send something out. But according to the Jamaica Observer, they stated that an estimated magnitude 4.4 earthquake was reported at 5:46 p.m. from Albertown, and the source is the Android's earthquake alert system. And remember how handy that system was back in October 2023 when we had that moderate 5.4, moderate 5.6 earthquake. Many persons reported feeling or getting an alert on their phone before the earthquake actually happened. So sometimes that system can be handy. I remember there was one point there was a false alarm, but considering the fact that there are many persons who are confirming the earthquake, it's actually, correct this time. And Albertown is right here in southeastern Trelawney. Not saying that this is the epicenter of the earthquake, but this is where more than likely a seismograph picked up the reading of an earthquake across the island. And it's no stranger to earthquakes. We have a lot of fault lines that run through the parish of Trelawney, so it's possible that we could get earthquake. We know that we have the Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault that runs from eastern Jamaica all the way to Haiti, and we know Haiti was rocked by two major earthquakes in the past 20 or 15 years. So Jamaica can receive those major earthquakes, hopefully not in our lifetime or anytime soon. As we can see here, all the red dots represent some amount of earthquake activity, although majority of it is confined to the eastern half of the island. We can get in on some of that activity across the central and western portions of the island as well, so it is nothing new. And we know what we have to do: always ensure that we drop, cover, and hold on. If you're in your bed, stay there, hold on, and protect your head with a pillow. If you're outside, stay away from buildings, walls, and power poles. If you're driving, stop, we're safe, turn on hazard lights, and stay in your vehicle. If you're in a wheelchair, put the brakes on in a safe place and protect your head. If you're anywhere, always drop to the floor, protect your head, and stay there until the shaking stops. And we definitely have some comments coming in confirming the earthquake. Share on our Twitter page stating St. Elizabeth and shaking was brief. By time it registered that it was an earthquake, it was over. Empress Christiana, Manchester, whole house shook. Narissa, Southfield, St. Elizabeth felt it. Casey Marie felt it in Mandeville. It was short but strong. Even on our Instagram page, we had a comment coming in about the earthquake. Alicia underscore Joseph, yes, in Westmoreland. 4D underscore Mink collection felt it in Kingston. Chevy underscore Cardoza. I felt it. It was very subtle. Just felt my couch moving, boy. Daniel underscore FL underscore 3. Yenu Kingston. Building shook twice, fast and short. They underscore untamed underscore feline sitting. When I felt the tremor and too long, they fly up and run to the door. I'm on the second floor of the house. I have a fear I might get trapped up there and crushed, so nope. Well, let's hope we don't get in on any of those major earthquakes in our generation. And always, always remember to drop cover and hold on. Alright, so let's switch gears and get back over to some weather related news. So we can see here that on the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, they have that area still highlighted to the east of Florida that now has a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. We see that it's fluctuating. I remember yesterday it was a 30% chance. Also, they've highlighted another area right there in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico for a 20% chance of formation after we get PTC1 out of there. And PTC1 is still on its way to move westward into Mexico. And we can see all of this even better on the infrared satellite images right here. Lots of activity taking place. Clouds associated with PTC number 1. Clouds associated with the Central American Gyre. It's a mess everywhere. There's rainfall all about the place. Not much taking place across Jamaica right now. But the clouds from the Central American Gyre are definitely responsible for most of the rainfall that we've been experiencing, especially last night into early this morning. But most of it has now pushed up towards the south and west of the island. If we take a look at the Atlantic tropical weather discussion from the US National Hurricane Center, so we're going to be zooming in on their special features because they indeed mentioned Jamaica. They stated potential tropical cyclone 1 PTC1 is near 21.8 degrees north, 92.7 degrees west at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It is moving north at 6 knots. Maximum sustained winds are 35 knots with gusts to 45 knots, and the minimum central pressure is 999 millibars. Seas are peaking near 16 feet within 333 nautical miles northeast of the system center. The broad wind field associated with this disturbance is generating tropical storm force winds extending outward to 250 nautical miles northeast of the system center. Numerous moderate to scattered strong convection is observed over much of the waters west of 73 degrees west in the Caribbean Sea. And where's Jamaica located? We're located at 18 degrees north and 77 or 78 degrees west, if I'm not mistaken. And the Gulf of Mexico. Heavy rains are impacting portions of southern Mexico, Central America, western Cuba, Cayman Islands, and Jamaica. So they actually mentioned us. A general northward motion will continue into tonight before a gradual turn towards the west. On this track, the center will be near northeastern Mexico by late Wednesday. So they're basically talking about this system right here, potential tropical cyclone 1, and we see all the clouds associated with this system reaching all the way into portion of the central and western Caribbean. And the thing is, this system is expected to move westward and bring a lot of strong winds into portions of Mexico and Texas right there, where they're now under a tropical storm warning. We can see by the key on the bottom, tropical storm warning represented in the blue. Yesterday it was more of a tropical storm watch in the pinkish colors, if I'm not or yellow colors, if I'm not mistaken. So now they're under a tropical storm warning. Even although this system is not yet Alberto, it still has the potential to bring a lot of life-threatening flash floods and strong winds. We know the winds, tropical storm force winds that is, are about anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour. and there's definitely going to be some of that affecting portion of northeastern Mexico and section of southern Texas. So if you have friends or relatives in that state, please ensure that you get in touch with them, check up on them, tell them to get prepared just in case, tell them to charge up their devices, because these winds can definitely cause power outages, and these rainfall amounts can cause some amount of flash flooding, so ensure that they all stay safe. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see that we still have that frontal system right there across portion of the northern section of North Atlantic. High pressure ridge to the north, sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. Tropical waves pushing from east to west in that easterly trade wind. Tropical wave right here across portion of the central Caribbean, definitely pushing westward. So Jamaica definitely going to be feeling its effects, if not tomorrow, on Thursday. And we can see the intertropical convergence zone still right here across portions of the southern main development region. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the twisting associated with the clouds of the Central American Gyre and PTC1. We can see the clouds associated with the tropical wave. We can see some more clouds bring showers and thunderstorms section of the Leeward and Windward Islands. Clouds right here off the coast of Africa. Clouds right here to the south of the main development region associated with the ITCZ. It's a mess everywhere. We see the clouds associated with the frontal system as well. And we know the spin up is definitely taking its time before it actually pushes west northwestward to affect sections of the southeastern United States. We'll see exactly what unfolds as time goes on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for Tuesday, June 18. It was stated that we would have received some afternoon rainfall, mainly across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica. And just for reference, central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? A post was made on our Twitter page at 1:36 p.m. highlighting the satellite image that was posted, showing clouds bring overcast skies and isolated thunder showers. The section of mainly northern St. Andrew and even section of northwestern St. Thomas getting in on the action. Section of Trelawney, St. James got in on the action at that time period as well. Then another post was made on our Twitter page. By the way, keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our Facebook, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening with our Facebook page recently. We've been trying to make some posts, but they're not going through. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Facebook is experiencing some technical difficulties. Hopefully they get it sorted out soon. So the infrared satellite image was posted, and it actually highlighted the high code cloud tops as represented by the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds. Not to mention the sparkling white dots that we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely had some thunderstorm activity, some isolated thunderstorm activity that is across sections of some central and western parishes, just as predicted. And we have confirmation of the rainfall. K Alex stating rain for 10 minutes, sun is out. Realm _ JA, thunder roll for 10 minutes, then drift, Portmore salt. Then we had Simret _ Selassie stating big storm Kingston 6, gone now. Gregory Foster 525, raining in Hanover. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see what took place. We had the clouds building mainly across sections of some central and western parishes, mainly across northern Jamaica than anything else. Then the high cold cloud tops were being blown off towards the south. So definitely anywhere from St. Andrew westwards, a section of St. Catherine, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, and even sections of Westmoreland got in on some of that. And we see that the latest infrared satellite images of Jamaica are showing that by the time we started recording, majority of the thunderstorm activity was dying out, As we can see here, most of the clouds are definitely clearing out as we speak, but we definitely saw that we had some amount of thunderstorm activity across those areas that were mentioned. Definitely inland areas of St. Anne, Trelawney, sections of St. James, section of Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth got on some of the action as well. And if we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, we can see that we still have some amount of rainfall affecting sections of Westmoreland right there, some rainfall off to the west of Hanover right there. But some of you guys might be wondering, what is all of this that we're seeing across sections of some northern and eastern portion of the island? That's not rainfall at all. All of that is what we refer to as ground clutter, because if you look back at the map, all of that is not adding up. We usually can, track what we're seeing on the satellite images and match it to the Doppler radar images. So hopefully the Cuban Doppler radar, the technicians get that sorted out shortly, or the Jamaican radar gets fixed soon. I remember I spoke to Evan Thompson last month, that's the principal director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica, and he mentioned that the Jamaican Doppler radar should be up and running by July. So hopefully I don't have to be calling him back in August to see what's really going on. So as stated, all of this that we're seeing is a glitch in the system, that's ground clutter. So don't take that seriously. We're more to believe that the rainfall is right there across western Jamaica, especially offshore over the sea. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can tell about 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. We're pleased to announce that the temperature forecast is looking lovely for Jamaica on Wednesday. We see that this is showing 18s on Wednesday, and we see Jamaica embedded in more grays than anything else. Grays represent average temperatures. That's what we would like to see. We don't like to see the yellows and the oranges and the reds that represent way above normal temperatures at all. We want to see the normal temperatures, and normal temperatures for Jamaica in the month of June are about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And take a look at the thermometer. 90 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32 degrees Celsius. So that's the temperature forecast for Wednesday. As relates to the dry air map, the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. We see a lot of dry air right there across the main development region of the coast of Africa. A lot of dry air across the northern section of North Atlantic right there. And more moist air across the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico in general. That's what we like to see. When we have a lot of moist air, it increases our chances of getting more rainfall. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we do see the Saharan dust reaching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. Jamaica should be right here, and we're definitely still getting on that Saharan dust, but it's nothing tremendous to cause way hazy skies or trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses such as sinus, asthma in some persons. As it relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see that by the key on the bottom right, we're still going to be getting on those 0.5 meter wave heights to 1 meter wave heights, as you can see, surrounding the island on both the Euro and the GFS mouse. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 knots. And we see the flow coming in from the east for the most part, more so from the east-southeast on the south coast. And we see that all of the air should be piling up across section of some northern and western parishes. So that could spell some rainfall again for sections of some central and western parishes, more so northern and western parishes than anything else. And with the upper level winds coming in tomorrow from the west, so it's curving from the west tomorrow, as we can see here. So more from the northwest in a way. So it could favor some more overcast skies or isolated shower activity for section of some southern parishes. So just like what we saw today we saw more of those upper level winds coming in from the northwest. So we saw more of those overcast skies across section of some southern parishes, and we're indeed grateful for that. We'll take the overcast skies, to put away with the sun. We don't like all the heat, so definitely bring on the clouds. And if we actually take a look at the rainfall forecast now, so it's actually shown here on the Euro that the Euro is a bit more robust with the rainfall forecast. This is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time. And look what we see on the Euro, a lot of rainfall surrounding the island, especially off to the south and east. The GFS showing more of that rainfall across the eastern portion of the island, especially off to the south and east. That's where we see most of the consensus. So eastern Jamaica, we're likely to see rainfall. We'll see if the Euro wins this one with all of that rainfall on the north and the south coast right there for that time period, 5 a.m. Let's see how that unfolds. Later on, by about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 8 a.m. Jamaica time, we start to see more of that rainfall, still confined to eastern Jamaica on the GFS. Euro still having that rainfall surrounding the island in a way. Then by afternoon now, we start to see more of a consensus on both maps. This is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. We see the rainfall across eastern, northern, and western portion of the island on both the Euro model and the GFS model, especially across the north. So that's where we see the consensus. That's where the rainfall is going to be for especially the afternoon. So if you live on the north coast, sections of St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, section of Hanover, Westmoreland, even section of St. Thomas and Portland will definitely be getting on that rainfall. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus when it comes to the accumulated precipitation forecast. The Euro showing up to at least 0. Maybe up to 7 or an inch of rainfall with this red right here across the western portion of the island. GFS showing something similar, more so towards the northwest, so Hanover. Either way, we'll take it. We're in the month of June. We're in our secondary rainy season. We usually get up to 233.35 millimeters of rainfall during this month. So we'll take all the rainfall that we can get to do something about the heat that some areas have been experiencing. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we still have a lot of activity taking place across sections of Central America associated with PTC1 and the Central American Gyre. A lot of activity taking place across the Cayman Islands, and some of this could linger and push into section of Jamaica later on tonight, just like what happened last night. We still see clouds associated with the tropical waves across portion of the basin. And if we actually take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we know Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall, and we can definitely see that portion of the northeastern Caribbean have been getting in some amount of rainfall anywhere from Guadeloupe north and westward. So section of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, the US and British Virgin Islands, section of the eastern portion of the Dominican Republic, section of Puerto Rico even gotten on some of that rainfall today. And if we actually load these images, you can see where that northwestern or northern Puerto Rico definitely gotten on most of that rainfall today. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that rainfall passing to the north of Barbados, pushing from east to west. So definitely sections of Martinique, St. Lucia gotten on some amount of rainfall, and they're gonna get in on some more. Not to mention section of Trinidad and Tobago. If we take a look at a wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall even better across the Dominican Republic, sections of western Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, Belize gotten on some amount of rainfall, section of Nicaragua, Colombia, Venezuela, and even French Guyana. As relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, for the most part we should be getting in on average temperatures across majority of the basin, where we see those yellows more so in lieu of those slightly above normal temperatures, but we see a lot of blues that represent below normal temperatures, especially across section of Central America, Colombia, and section of the United States. As relates to the Sahara dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we see the dust reaching all the way from Africa across the Mediterranean region. So definitely a section of the Windward Islands by 2 p.m. on Wednesday should be getting on more dust. The ABC Islands, section of the Central Western Caribbean, as well as Northern South America as well. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, it makes sense that majority of the Caribbean should be getting in on those lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues that represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height to 1.5 meter wave height. While the Gulf of Mexico, where we have the strongest winds associated with PTC1, that's where we're going to be experiencing the purples and reds. They represent anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe even up to 4 or 5 meter wave heights. And that's because the winds, as stated earlier, are going to be strongest over there, where we see those yellows, those gold, those burgundy colors. They represent anywhere from 25 to 30 to even 35 knots or more. And we see the general direction coming in from the east, or the east-southeast in a way, and across the Caribbean from the east, averaging anywhere from 10 to 15 knots in the greens. As relates to the rainfall forecast now, We're definitely going to be getting on some more rainfall for sections of Cuba, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. We also see some rainfall in store for sections of Trinidad and Tobago, not much for Grenada or Barbados, but definitely areas south of there. So sections of Suriname, Guyana, sections of French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, section of Honduras, even section of Belize and Guatemala, as well as El Salvador. El Salvador seems to be getting on the most in the way of rainfall right there, so more flooding associated with the Central American gyre is expected. And we also see some isolated shore activity in store for section of the Cayman Islands as well. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.